I joined cross country in 2012 when I started middle school. At the time, my gymnastics coach had left our gym and our team disintegrated. I started to get out of shape, and I figured I had to do something to stay fit. Our athletic program offered volleyball, basketball, cross country, and track and field. I had always enjoyed racing when I was younger, so I figured cross country would be a good fit for me. I have been running ever since. Throughout the years, I came to find a love for the sport. We didn't really have our own coach in middle school, so the high school coach would come down and train us. After my 7th grade year, that coach left and a new one came in during my 8th grade year, and once again, some people left. At the beginning, I hesitated on staying on the team because I didn't want to go through that again, and I didn't like the idea of training with a different coach. I figured I'd stay that year since that was my last year of middle school, and I promised myself that I would never run in high school. I wasn't a very good runner anyways. The last month of school, our new coach brought some of his old high school runners to talk to us about the experience of running in high school.
All right. So the question was, why did I join cross country when I was in junior high and high school? Well, it kind of started with trying all the other sports. My dad always believed in getting me involved in everything, every sport, and not sitting around over the summer. So I was always involved. I played football, I played baseball, basketball, anything, it was never my thing. I wasn't very successful at any of those sports. And then I believe it was middle school, pretty much you had to join every sport. You had to play every sport, kind of like it is now. I guess it's not quite the same now, but, so I ran track, and when I first tried track, I didn't have a lot of speed. So the people that didn't have speed ran distance. So that was my thing in middle school. And I still remember kind of that first race where I got my first medal. And I can replay it in my mind. I have that mental picture of coming across, and I got a second place medal, and I just remember the crowd getting all excited. And I remember one of my teachers or one of my coaches coming up to me and hugging me, and I can replay that in my mind to this day, and that's 15 years ago or more, or I guess about 20 years ago. It was that first medal that I got. To this day I have a vivid imagery of that first medal that I got, and coming down the finishing the straightaway with it and getting that first medal. And that's where I really found the love for running, is seeing that, hey, this is something I'm actually pretty good at. And so that's and from there on I just bought into the sport, and I didn't always like it. It wasn't the funnest sport around, but it kind of like for a lot of runners, it just grew on me. It became who I was. The more I ran, the more it was who I was defined as.
They told us that they had summer practices, and our coach told us to come check it out. They convinced me, so I decided that was going to be the last time I ran, for real this time. I went to Cancun in my hometown during that summer, so I didn't make it to practices until August, before school started. I was completely out of shape, and I wanted to quit since I wasn't planning on continuing running anyways, but I'm not a quitter. I ended up being the only girl from middle school who continued on to run in high school. I stayed in order to prove myself that I could do better, and I became really close to some of my teammates. It wasn't until track season when I began to see improvement. I had always said that I was never going to do track, but I got put into it by my coach, so I decided to give it a try. I started to grow a love for the sport, which led me to keep improving in each one of my races. I got injured right before the district meet, but I was still determined to PR, or to beat my personal record, and I did. The summer before my sophomore year began, I became the girls' captain since all of the girls had graduated. That summer, my love for running grew even bigger, along with the love for my new team and my coach. We created an even stronger bond, and they were my motivation to keep running. When I was having bad days, I remembered I didn't just run for myself, I ran for my team too. My sophomore year, I had improved more than 12 minutes since my freshman year. Most of the girls from that team were seniors though, so they graduated that year. I was left with one other teammate who was a freshman at the time. She joined soccer, so she didn't run many track meets. More girls started to join during track season, which went well, but cross country wasn't going to be the same. My teammate quit before district meet in cross country season my junior year because of some complications. There were a couple conflicts with the new team my junior year, and I began to lose motivation. I felt alone, and aside from that, I was burning out. After running for 4 years, my body began to shut down. I wasn't eating right, and I didn't get much sleep, which wasn't helping my situation. I told this to my coach one day when we had an indoor meet at A&M, and he told me to think about why I run. I didn't know why anymore, so he told me to sit down and think about it. I went through a lot to figure out why I'm still doing it when I felt like it was something I didn't enjoy anymore. I'm still fighting this battle, but now I'm gaining my motivation back. I've came to realize that running has taught me more than to be tough. I've learned that in life you will experience obstacles, but you have to overcome them in order to get to your goal. That all the pain will come to an end at some point. And I run because I love competition, but mostly because I just simply love to run.